So on the front row is Paul Hinson and Guy Hefford again. Second row, Matthew Palmer will be there by himself because Luke Austin is not allowed to start because the contact in race 1 actually damaged the roll cage. On the third row of the grid is Ben Rowe and Lee Gamble. On the fourth row, George Robinson will down the grid and Michael Wells. On the fifth row is Rob Barnett and Matthew Wallace. Sixth row, Clive Morfitt and Stuart Nicholls. The seventh row, Robert Weld and Stephen Wells. 8th row is Paul Grimmett and Michael Nicholls. 9th row, Mark Snelling and Tony Jones. 10th row, James McCutcheon and Mark Lighton. Then we have David Rowe, William Gallagher, Jim Davis, Simon Bastiman. The non-starters though are William Gallagher, Lloyd Clarkson and Luke Austin. So we will have a 32 card on the grid and away they go. And who can make the better start this time? Again it's Guy Hefford that leads as they go down to Copse Corner. So it's Hefford that leads away. The 32 card, they can make it right through Copse safely. Just about, I think, on board then with Tony Jones. And up alongside him comes the Alex Snelling car, Mark Snelling onto the brakes. They go right behind Stuart Nicholls. Michael Nicholls to take the lead in that class. And I think Ben Rowe was off the circuit again at Beckett's. Not a good day at Beckett's for Ben Rowe. He's ended up off there twice now. So Wells ahead of Snelling now. As they head down, they're running straight into Brooklyn. So it's Hefford the leads again from Paul Hinson that's running in second, and Matthew Palmer there in third position. And a good start from George Robinson from the fourth row of the grid, he's in fourth position. As they head now towards Woodcote, the long queue of MR2. We've got a bit of side-by-side action in the middle of the pack. There's Lee Gamble and Matthew Wallace rejoining that battle they had for the majority of race 1. They head into Copse Corner then. Leading the way, it's Guy Hefford. Through Copse Corner, running out wide there is the 22 machine in the hands of Stephen Wells. So he loses the position to Stuart Nicholls. Kicking up the sun, dust in front as there goes Wells, trying to come around the outside. There's Ben Rowe's car dumped in the gravel, and I wonder if there's yellow flags out there. But round the outside comes Wells, side by side. Nicholls gets the position back. Now the power of the Mark II comes into effect as he draws up alongside and easily back past Stuart Nicholls. They head down towards Brooklands then. Now Michael Nicholls late on the brakes, up on the inside he comes. And is he going to have the position done? Yes, into the lead of the class goes Michael Nicholls. Out of Lapfield then Guy Hefford still leads. He's led longer than he did in race 1. Paul Hinson though right in the slipstream. He's looking for a way now. Guy Hefford tries to defend the line, but then Hinson draws himself up alongside on the inside line for Copse Corner. Who's going to lead? It's still Hefford. He manages to hold on this time as they head through Copse. Stuart Nicholls trying to find a way back past his dad, unable to do so this time through. And now there's a car between them. It's the Mark II of Stephen Wells, because Michael Nicholls has got ahead of him, hasn't he? Actually, we're not even on board. We're not on board with Stuart Nicholls. That's why there's a Mark II between himself and actually Stuart Nicholls, who's actually still behind his dad. So it's Michael Nicholls leading this group of cars. He's starting to get away from Stuart now, and now we're on board with Tony Wells, of course. Not on board with Stuart Nicholls as I first thought. The car between us here is the 22. And that is Stephen Wells. So we headed down into Brooklyn. We're going to try and come around the outside of Wells, late on the brakes for Tony Jones. And he can't find a way through. Into Woodcote then for the race leaders. And we have a scrap here developing for third between Matthew Palmer and George Robinson, who went great guns in the second part of the first race. He had a good slipstream there as they head down to Copse Corner. Into third will go George Robinson here. Yep, he has that position done. Lee Gamble defending heavily there. He's battling away, I think it was with Wallace. Side by side in front of Jones as running out wide was the car of Stephen Wells as he tried to go around the outside and not being able to do so of Mark Snelling, but coming back past there is Wells, and then Jones are late on the brakes for Beckett to get back through again. And not the cleanest of gear changes there gives Stephen Wells that position back again. Through Brooklands, and Paul Hinson's got the lead back, so Hinson leads from Hefford. And then the battle between Palmer and Robinson. Palmer still just in front. Matthew Palmer there ahead of George Robinson. So 31 cars to run this race. Only Ben Rhodes, the only person out of the race so far. Palmer just gapping him there, just gapping Robinson as they head down to Cox. The top two have got away. Hinson ahead of Hefford. Side by side as Wallace tries to come up on the inside of Gamble. Rob Barnett was right behind them, involved in that battle as well. On board with Jones as he runs out over the curb onto the additional tarmac for Cops Corner. Now are we side by side? No, we're not. We're just ahead, late on the brakes. So trying to come round the outside here. Comes Stephen Wells. He can't quite do it though. We're watching all this in the rear view mirror. Hinson through Brooklands. Now, Guy Hefford has a bit of smoke coming from the rear of his car. Hopefully all is well there. Hinson's starting to make a very small gap here now. And Matthew Palmer getting away from George Robinson and trying to close in on the top two. Then in 5th position is Michael Wells, having a much better race than first time. I think he retired early, didn't he? Then Gamble here in 6th position, just ahead of Wallace, and then Barnett. The three of them together now. Wallace trying to come up on the inside to head down to Cops Corner. This I think can happen in most of the laps. But let's see what happens this time through. Wallace, does he get a position? Yes, I think just about. Side by side, further back here, I think that's Tony Wells involved in all that. But on board is Stuart Nicholls as we go down into Beckett's corner, late on the brakes, getting close to Rob Wells. And we got now a huge train of cars develop. About Stuart Nicholls is about the last of them, and about 6 of them here. So Stuart Nicholls has managed to work his way up, because you see no cars in that review camera. He was involved in that battle, what you can't actually see earlier in the race. So Stuart Nicholls has been working away at these cars in front, and now he's with them late on the brakes, getting onto the rear bumper of Robert Wells. And now we turn through Luffield Corner and put the power on to go towards Woodscote. It's Gamble still just about leading. Now Barnett's the second of them cars. He's got ahead of Wells, and Nicholls urges his way up on the inside of Rob Wells, and they're going to be side by side as they cross the line. Into Cox Corner goes this group of cars, and Gamble leads it. And Stuart Nicholls couldn't find his way past the more powerful Mark II of Rob Wells, but now in the slipstream as they head down towards Beckett's. Wells just get onto the brakes now, up on the inside. Nicholls hit sideways there as well, so that gives Nicholls a position in contact in front, and a spin there. And now we're on board with Jones as he goes past the spinner. And I've now got the job of working out who the spinner was. But side by side, as round the outside the back marker goes Palmer, who's chasing after Guy Hefford now. Paul Hinson gets away from... it was, by the way, it was Clive Morfitt was the person that spun. But yes, Paul Hinson getting away at the front while this battle continues between Gamble and Barnett, trying to find a way through. There's nothing between the two cars as they cross the line to start another lap. So we're into the second half of this race now. Matthew Wallace right there as well. Barnett looking up on the inside, and ahead to Cops, can't do that. Meanwhile, Stuart Nicholls up on the inside, can't quite find a way past the machine of Paul Grimmett. He's still on a little bit wide. Perhaps had to back off ever so slightly, which means Stuart Nicholls can keep up with him as they head down towards Beckett's. Is there a way through here? Inside line, there's no gap there really. But then late on the brakes, Grimmett starts to run out wide. This gives Nicholls the tide to line, and alongside he comes as they now head down the Wellington Straight. He looks like he's got through, but then the more powerful Mark II comes alongside again. And is he going to get back through? Rob Wells starting to join in as well, but late on the brakes. Stuart Nicholls slides through Brooklyn, so I think he's just about kept ahead of Paul Grimmett, and now is Rob Wells going to try to come on the inside, not quite. Meanwhile, round the outside of the back marker goes Rob Barnett, I think, because Wallace has gained a position. Hinson, Hefford and Robinson all together, and the top three head through. No, not Robinson, it's Palmer, isn't it, up there? Robinson down in fourth, but then this battle, we see three wide further back almost. Stuart Nicholls involved in all that, but I was going to say, trying to come alongside there was Wallace to get past. Gamble couldn't do so in that battle for 6th position. On board is Stuart Nicholls as they head down towards Beckett's again. The Samantha's being kicked up by Rob Barnett, late on the brakes again, but Beckett's very late on the brakes, with Stuart Nicholls getting almost onto the tail of Rob Barnett there. And they power out the corner down the Wellington Straight once more. Only a few laps left of this race now. Stuart Nicholls every now and again looking over to his mirror, but it looks to me he's got a big enough gap to Paul Grimmett this time. They head down to Brooklands, up on the inside of Rob Barnett from a long way back. Can't get that one done, but again showing the braking ability of the Mark III Roadster of Stuart Nicholls as they now head through Luffield. At the front of this scrap is still Lee Gamble. So into Cops they go then. Hinson still leads from Hefford. Till we wait for the battle for 6th position. Wallace, Lee Gamble's dropped right down in that scrap, hasn't he? He's down to 8th. We ride on board and now with Stuart Nicholls who's right behind Lee Gamble. So heading to Beckett's, he's all over the back of Barnett. Gamble goes to the inside of Barnett. Can he get that one done? Joining in now as well with Paul Grimmett, bringing with him Rob Wells. So this group of cars head onto the Wellington Straight for another time. Here comes Gamble, it was in the slipstream, now he draws up alongside Rob Barnett. They're going to go side by side underneath the vehicle bridge, and now they head down towards Brooklands round the outside, and he's through. Lee Gamble's got that one done, and now really low the brakes. It's Stuart Nicholls as he goes round the outside as well. Then they're side by side, head for Brooklands, now down to Luffield. Barnett looks like he's got the position back, has he? But Nicholls contact with it, the two cars go sideways. Both cars hold it together just about. Still in 8th position is Barnett. The person that's lost out in all that is Paul Grimmett because he had to get onto the brakes. So 6th is Wallace, 7th is Gamble, 8th is Barnett, 9th is Nicholls, 10th is Wells, and 11th is the 26th car of Grimmett, as Wells up on the inside and past Nicholls there for 9th position. So just take a deep breath now after all that. Somebody's parked deck on the inside of the circuit there, and that was Matthew Parler. Matthew Parler from the top 3 is retired from the race, as now Grimmett goes back past the spin for Rob Wells right in front of us. How did Stuart Nicholls miss that? Well, he did, just. He can now continue down the Wellington Straight. What a lap that was. I just taken a breath here in the commentary book because that was incredible, that lap we just had, mainly on board with Stuart Nicholls. He's still pressuring on though as he chases after Paul Grimmett. Leaders into Cops as Guy Hefford still Paul Hinson still leading with Guy Hefford. George Robinson a bit further behind. Now there's Wallace ahead of Gamble. This is a battle for 6th position. Last lap board is out. Rob Barnett sitting there in 8th, but the battle for 6th could go either way because around the outside, with the inside even goes Gamble. He's got the position done. He's got ahead of Wallace there, so Lee Gamble up to 6th. We ride on board with Stuart Nicholls, who's side by side, he must be, with the car of Paul Grimmett as we head down into Beckett's. Under the brakes we go, and in front of Grimmett we go. There's Barney in front, tries to find a way past Matthew Wallace as they head through the corner. And I said the battle for 6th, he's actually for 5th now, because remember Palmer retired from the race. Through the traffic comes about for the lead. Guy Hefford's not quite given up on this one yet, I don't think, or maybe he has, because there's just a few too many car laps between those two cars. But Hefford not all that far behind Paul Hinson. A much closer run thing for Hefford this time, and a much better result with its victory for Paul Hinson. 12-2 here today at Silverstone. Guy Heather takes second. A long way back. George Robinson will take third. Just by about a second in front of Michael Wells. Battle for fifth then. Here they come into Woodcote, and it's Lee Gamble in fifth. Sixth is Matthew Wallace, and seventh is Rob Barnett. They head and cross the line with the checker flag out there. And then Stuart Nicholls took 8. Paul Grimmett fell behind a bit in 9th. And here are the official results then. Just 89 for the second between Hinton and Hefford at the end. And George Robinson was 7 3/4 seconds off the winner that time by. Winner of Class C, like I say, Stuart Nicholls, 8th position. We're just going to have a few of our onboard cameras again going on for the start of the races. Michael Nicholls finished 11th in the end, 2nd in class. Our onboard camera, Tony Jones, finished in 13th. Robert Wells, after his spin, there 18th. If I look at my screen, I can tell you the Mark 1 winner, and the only person in Mark 1, Darren Cox, finished 24th overall. Jim Davies finished 3rd in Class C and 17th. You can see there, off into the gravel, went Ben Rowe on the first lap. As the two Nicholls battle it out for Class C honours in the early stages. Now we're on board with Mark, even Tony Jones, and off they went. Good start from Michael Nicholls there as they headed down to Cops Course.